Shalom Aleichem for Shabbat Bamidbar. Mishnah Yomi is starting chapter 2 of Bava Kama on our third day of Bava Kama. The first chapter flew right by. Now the second chapter is going to explain in more detail some of the concepts, the categories we saw in the very first Mishnah. Ketzod haregel mu'edit. How is an animal muad regarding its regel, its legs, how it's walking? The Mishnah says, L'shaber b'derech chilucha. If it breaks something, well, it's the course of its walking. It steps on something or it bumps into something with the leg or the body. An animal is considered warned and fully liable, as we explained yesterday, to hit things while it's walking and break them. If it's kicking, or it's not the legs itself, but there's some pebbles, some gravel is getting kicked up as the animal walks. The shibret kalim, and that's what breaks someone else's vessel. Mishalem chatzi nezek. That's considered tam, not muad. It's sort of indirect, and it's not really a normal way for animals to kick their legs out to the side. If they're just walking, that's normal regel. But if they're kicking something or kicking up gravel, that's tam. Now the Mishnah brings a combination case where the animal hit something and then that something whacked something else. Darsa ola kli, the animal was walking normally, it stepped on a kli, v'shibarto nebuch broke that kli, v'nafal al kli, v'shibro, and a piece of that kli, you understand it could be a ceramic and little pieces fly out of glass and it breaks something else. So now there's a second kli passed away in this encounter. Al rishon mishalem nezek shalem, the first one he pays full damages, that's regel, that's muad lo'olam. Allah achron mishalem chatzi nezek. But the second one, that's indirect, that's kind of like gravel coming out from under the hooves of the animal, so that pays half damages. The Gemara points out this is all in the property of the nizak, in private property. If you left your kalim out in public property, you left your kli out in the shuk, and an animal walked by and bumped into it, or someone kicked up some dirt and it hit it and broke it, that's on you. You left your kli where it could get damaged. We're talking about damage that occurs in private property. The Mishnah adds, Hatarnegolim, chickens, mu'adin l'halech kedarkan l'shaber. They are mu'ad, they are warned to hop around like chickens and break things. They're pecking and scratching and hopping around. They break stuff. Haya dulil kashur b'raglov. If it gets a bucket wrapped around its leg. Now, this is not where somebody actually purposefully tied something to the chicken accidentally got wrapped up in the rope that's holding the bucket or the clothesline or the like. Oshahaya mehodis, or it's, hopping around trying to fly, in an abnormal way. Umishaber at the kalim, and it breaks kalim, through the item, through its legs in an abnormal way, or through the item tied to its legs, or the clothesline going through the pantry. Mishalem chatzi nezek. That's not regel, that's not normal, and the owner of the chicken pays half damages like a tam. Mishnah Beit expands this to Shen, to an animal eating something. Ketzad the Shen mu'edit. What do we mean that an animal is warned against causing damage through eating someone else's items? Lechol eteroi lo. Talking about eating something that animals normally eat. Habahema mu'edit lechol perot yirakot. Normal domesticated animals, they eat produce, they eat vegetables, fruits, grains. Achla kesuto kalim, if it ate a garment or a wicker basket, mishalem chatzi nezek. That's not actually normal, and that's considered tam, that's chatzi nezek. Though again, as we learned yesterday, if it does this 3 times, it's now muad to eat abnormal items, and the owner would pay nezek shalem. In the Gemara, they say if there's food inside a wicker basket, for instance, and the animal chews up the basket trying to get the food inside, it would pay for both the food and the basket. But where does this law apply? Birshut hanizak, in private property of the one who is damaged. Animal came onto his property and ate something belonging to him. If someone left their food out in public where anyone could get to it, and an animal eats it, that's not something he can be compensated for. But the Mishnah qualifies this. Im nehanet, if the animal enjoyed, had a benefit, meaning the animal came and ate your steak off your plate, which you had put down in the Rishut Rabim, in the middle of the street, in the middle of the shuk, and now the animal doesn't have to eat for the rest of the day, then it had an enjoyment. The owner doesn't have to feed him dinner. So mishalem ma shenehenit. he has to pay what he enjoyed. Now, that's not going to be the value of the fancy steak dinner. That's going to be the value of the aspasta or the barley or whatever cheap animal fodder that would have been served for dinner if he had not still eaten the steak. Ketzad mishalem mashanenet. How does the owner pay for what the animal benefited? Ochla mitoch harochava. If it ate from within the rahava, like the public square, the shuk, mishalem mashanehanet. He pays only what he enjoyed, not the full value of the item. Mitzidei arachava, if it's the sides of the square, and this is sort of a semi-private area, more like the sidewalk than the street, you don't normally bring animals up there. Mishalem Moshe Zika. There he pays the damage that was caused, the full damage that was caused there. Mipeta hachanut, from the opening of a store, so you can picture they might have had like a shelf outside, and they put their pie on the shelf, and it's, there was no glass in the window, so an animal could lean over and start eating that pie that's on the shelf on the outside wall of the store. Mishalem Moshe Nehenetz. This is considered putting it at a place where the animals could access it, so they only pay the value that the owner of the animal received. Metocha chanut, if the animal sneaks into the kitchen, sneaks into the store where you're not supposed to have animals, and eats something there, mishalem Moshe Zika. Then it pays full damages, whatever damage it caused through eating. Yeshar Kochachem, good Shabbos.